Welcome back, everyone, to another video. We have information here about Towerborne and why they decided to work with Xbox. Could we have another remastered game here from Bethesda in the works that is in active development? Another big game that will go along the lines of the Obsidian remake, and we will take a look at that. An exclusive report from Insider Gaming on a new Ubisoft game that is in the works. There's some new information about Star Wars Outlaws, as well as a free trial, and we got to look at Bloober Team's next game, which looks absolutely phenomenal, and Mario Kart World. The direct happened yesterday. This game is big, this game is vast, and it really reminds me of the best arcade racer out there right now, at least for a lot of people, and that is Forza Horizon. So we will take a look at all of that stuff. Before we do jump into it, if you enjoy daily gaming news and content, 8 a.m. every day, make sure to hit the subscribe, share the video, like the video, all of that stuff. And I see many of you who do watch on a daily basis are not subscribed, so I would appreciate it if you did end up hitting the subscribe button if you enjoy the show. But for now, let's jump into it. All right, one of the big games coming out at the end of this month on consoles day one is Towerborne. This is a game that was announced a while ago. There was also a major controversy surrounding why were they releasing it on PC first when this was announced for Xbox Game Pass, and people who are on the console thought they were going to be able to jump in and play this game before everybody else. The game is just around the corner here on April 29th. It is joining the service, and when it jumps onto Game Pass, when it jumps onto Xbox, it is going to be in the Xbox Game Preview, which is something Xbox does where they allow games to go in active development and have people play it and get feedback and everything before the official 1.0 release. There have been multiple games that have gone through that process and have come out great on the other side. Stoic, the team behind Towerborne, has talked about why they decided to go through this program and why they decided to choose Xbox as that partner to do this. And here is what they say. This is via the Xbox 2 podcast interview, and they wanted to learn here more about Stoic's approach to Towerborne. They say giving that building out a service game in 2025 without a widespread testing regime is perhaps foolhardy. And Stoic partnered with Microsoft to help facilitate the feedback loop the team felt they needed, which is where we find ourselves today with the Xbox Game Preview. Speaking here with Arnie and John. So Arnie Jorgensen, who is Stoic's co-founders, and John Watson, who is obviously the other co-founder. And here is exactly what they do say about what's going on with Towerborne and just the entirety of their studio. They say, finishing up Banner Saga 3, we knew we wanted to do a bigger game. We knew we wanted to do a live game, so we began ramping into the next game. Me and John got together and we say, what is the game? What are the pillars? And here they are. And then they go on here to say, we're really excited to get feedback from the community and have them help us build out Towerborne. We want it to be approachable. We want it to be fun to watch. It was important to us coming off the Depression Simulator, the Banner Saga, since it was a slow game. Nobody wanted to watch others play it. We also want customization to be big too. And then John Watson here elaborates why Towerborne is driven more by scaling mechanics, saying, we want to make something that we can actually iterate on the mechanics and players can really get into the nitty gritty with it. Let's make a different game system that is driven more by the mechanics than the story. Towerborne certainly has a story and it certainly has narrative, but it is the mechanics that are kind of the front seats. And then continues here and talking about community feedback and engagement, saying having an engaged community for a game is sort of a superpower for that game. It gives it longevity and legs, and it gives you energy as a developer. It gives you motivation to cater to that community. And absolutely, I mean, that does make sense. If you have a game where people are consistently playing it, consistently giving you feedback to help make it better, the game will last long. And one of the ways to get a continued community is by putting it into Xbox Game Pass and, of course, working with Xbox. And here's kind of what they say about going and working with Xbox. They say, working with Xbox, it's been great. When we were pitching this game around and shopping around, we talked to a lot of potential partners, and it was clear at the end of the process that Xbox was the best option. The thing that was really impressive about Xbox from the beginning and throughout this is that they were really bought into the idea of the game. They got it. So that's why they went with Xbox. It's obviously something that they've enjoyed so far. We'll see how good this game is when it does launch on Game Pass. Their Xbox enthusiasm also says, they say here about this, that, and Xbox has a lot of expertise. They have cloud platform. We got a lot of help. We have people embedded in the team for technical aspects, design aspects, and others as well. And they've worked with studios like Mike Rare, who pitched in to help with Towerborne. So very cool. You're seeing their other first party studios coming in there, pitching the opportunity to help and try to make this thing as successful as possible as a partner game with Xbox coming from Stoic. Again, launching Game Pass Day 1. I'm very excited for it. This is like a side-scrolling action RPG with some cool art style. I've liked these types of games in the past. I've talked about this before. Like, I'm a fan of Odin's Sphere and Dragon's Crown. So I feel like this is going to be along those lines, but potentially even bigger than that. So I'm very excited for this game to drop on April 29th into Xbox Game Pass, which just adds to Game Pass, which has been very good. April's been good. May is going to be phenomenal. We've already seen some more games that they just announced that are launching in the first day of May. And then we're going to have the lead up to the Xbox Game Showcase in June. And this game here is going to continue to expand. So we will continuously have information about Towerborne and how it gets better as it is in game preview. I wonder how long it's going to take to get to that 1.0 release, where it is the official release outside of the Xbox Game Preview program. All right, let's talk about another remaster from a major Bethesda game that could be coming in. It still exists, apparently. We know now that the Oblivion remaster is happening, and it's supposed to be happening April 21st, a shadow drop where we're all going to be able to go in there and play it. We've seen the screenshots. I think it looks like it's a very nice upgrade. We've heard about the gameplay upgrades that are coming to the game. Another game that absolutely could benefit from a remaster and a remake would be Fallout 3. If you've ever gone back and played that game, it does kind of clunky. It doesn't really hold up that well. So a remaster would just be phenomenal for this. And it looks like it is actually in development. It still exists. It's just going to be a while before we do see this one. This one won't be a shadow drop anytime soon. This here says that it was spotted by the gamer Nate the Hate, was asked on X whether Fallout 3 Remaster was still in the works, and Nate replied stating, it will be a while before we see it. And then goes on here, he did not deny the existence of it. Another asked whether it is still happening, and Nate replies, planned, but won't be for a while. So it will be a while before we do end up seeing this game, of course, as Nate the Hate does mention there, and he's been pretty good on these rumors. So I am expecting this thing to actually happen unless the game does get canceled. But if you're looking for more information, the rumors about this was happening during the FTC versus Microsoft trial, where they do say here that both games were leaked during that trial, and now people are interested in the existence of Fallout 3. There's a lot of stuff that was leaked during the FTC versus Microsoft trial while they were trying to acquire ABK. I remember going through that. It was a wild time. And this one, I think, will end up happening. It's a no-brainer to bring back these older games, these 360 games that definitely could use gameplay upgrades, could use graphical upgrades. So I'm excited for this. I feel like Fallout 3 probably needs it more than Oblivion, but that may just be my opinion. I'm more of an Oblivion fan than I am a Fallout 3 fan, but reality is it would be super cool to see this happen. And if the Oblivion remaster happens and it looks as good as we are seeing in the screenshots and it comes out and people are enjoying it, we're probably going to get something similar for Fallout 3, which is exciting. All right, Ubisoft, they are in development with some new games that we haven't heard about yet. Of course, I feel like the future of Ubisoft, there will be a lot of live service games as a service multiplayer titles, simply because of that bigger partnership they do have with Tencent. And Insider Gaming here has an exclusive report. They're developing a new battle royale heavily inspired by Apex Legends. And apparently this game is called Scout. They say the game, which is currently under the project name Scout, is so heavily inspired by Respawn Entertainment's highly successful Apex Legends that it was once used as the thumbnail for the project. I guess you can see that here with that picture. And it says it's understood that the game has been in development for at least a couple of years and will feature very similar characters to Apex Legends, including a spin on Pathfinder, Wraith, Lifeline, and other characters from the game. And one source has said on the project that I think the goal is to capitalize on the player count of Apex dropping, and them Ubisoft higher ups thinking there's room in the market for another hero battle royale. So that is something that potentially is happening. And again, they are working now more with Tencent. So I wonder if Tencent is going to come in here and give their 2 cents on this game and potentially make it come out in a faster time and actually make this thing happen. Whereas I'm sure they have many games in the works that end up just not coming to fruition, depending on how much time and effort that they have put into it and everything. I mean, you do look at Skull and Bones, and that thing took so long to come out, but then it did eventually come out. But we will see. I mean, it sounds like if this game has been in the works and it's the higher ups just trying to capitalize on the falling Apex Legends player base, it does sound like kind of a weird management decision, especially when you are looking at how hard it is to be able to continuously compete in games as a service multiplayer games with major companies and their games coming out and failing. So who knows? We will see what happens with this. Is there room for another major battle royale? Sure. But it will never be on the likes of like Fortnite, which is the leader, or the Call of Duty war zones. Like I don't think it'll ever be able to compete with those. We see the statistics that people just continuously go back and play those games over and over and over again. Even when new things come out onto the market, it is very hard to pull their attention away from that. Sticking with Ubisoft here, they're offering a 3-hour free demo for Star Wars Outlaws. They're trying to get more people to go in and play this game here. They do say here that anyone who is interested in playing the game can search for Star Wars Outlaw demo on PC, Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox, and then you will get that 3 hours. And they say Star Wars Outlaws was released in 2024 by Massive and is set to be released for the Nintendo Switch 2 sometime in the future, which to me is insane to think that Star Wars Outlaws is going to launch on the Switch 2, because if you haven't played Star Wars Outlaws yet, I really enjoyed the game. A lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't enjoy it, but to me, it was one of my favorite games last year. And it is one of the most beautiful worlds. Massive does great open worlds. There are people obviously behind The Division, and there's new content coming out for The Division 2 soon. And they've made Avatar. They've done now Star Wars Outlaws, and those worlds are so well built, fleshed out, and they do such a good job with them. And I feel like it's kind of a shame that less people experienced it, just simply because of I think a lot of the chatter online, people just decided not to give it a chance. But here's a 3-hour trial if you do want to go ahead and play it. And they're obviously trying to sell more copies of this, because commercially, Star Wars Outlaws did not meet the expectations that Ubisoft was expecting, especially with a massive IP like Star Wars. Like if you have an IP like this, you need to sell even more copies than usual if you're not playing off something like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Spider-Man, all those huge IPs that should sell well just because of the name. Star Wars Outlaws is also getting more DLC, and the DLC trailer has leaked early, revealing the release dates for A Pirate's Fortune. This here says that the video, which was reportedly posted online as an unlisted trailer before Ubisoft took it down, shows footage from A Pirate's Fortune as well as its apparent release date, which will be coming on May 15th. And they are going to be debuting this during the Star Wars Celebration fan events. And then you're going to be able to see more about that DLC before it does launch. And they say here, embark on a mysterious adventure with Kay and Nix to explore the Kepi system and learn what it takes to be a true leader, and team up with legendary pirate Hondo Onaka and face off against Stinger Tosh and her Rokana raiders as you infiltrate the Kepi tomb to uncover the secrets and hidden treasures it holds. Along the way, you'll discover the Mayuki Trade League, who offer new rewards for the Trailblazer in exchange for smuggling dangerous goods across the galaxy. And they say, as a part of the update alongside A Pirate's Fortune, all players will be gifted cosmetic items inspired by Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which will include an outfit for Nix, a trophy for the speeder, and a trinket for both the speeder and the Trailblazer. And the gift will appear in your delivery crate on the Trailblazer after downloading and installing the update. World premiere will be today at the Star Wars Celebration in Japan. So if you do want to see it, make sure to go check that out. I am interested. I'm absolutely going to be playing this DLC. I played the first one. I'll go back here and play this one and continue to play this game, because I did enjoy Star Wars Outlaws. I enjoyed my time with it, and I put a decent amount of hours into it. All right, Bloober Team, they have revealed a new gameplay trailer for Cronos, which is their next horror game, third-person action game. It looks phenomenal. Bloober looks like they're absolutely cooking with this one, and I'm excited. I'm not the biggest horror game fan. I have my preferences with like the Resident Evil stuff. I also played the Medium, which I thought was okay. It was decent. So I'm excited for this game, Cronos, and they put out a new 2-minute trailer. And if you're looking forward to this game at all, or if you're into horror style of games, go check out Cronos: A New Dawn. Like, this is looking like it is going to be terrifying, but also just absolutely insanely beautiful and fun to play. They do say here, when it comes to the game itself, that it is set in a grim world where Eastern European brutalism meets retro futurist technology, and Cronos the New Dawn lets you experience a gripping story that straddles the line between past and future. And in the past, you will witness a world in the throes of the change, a cataclysmic event that forever altered humanity. Meanwhile, in the ravaged wastelands of the future, every moment is a fight for survival against dangerous abominations that will test both your reflexes and your tactical thinking. And you are a traveler acting as an agent for the enigmatic collective, tasked with scouring the wastelands of the future in search of specific time rifts that will transport you back to 1980s era Poland. And I mean, you take a quick look here at this gameplay. It looks like it is going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait. It really looks like, obviously, Dead Space, a take on that, but Bloober's own take on it with different enemies, weapons, and traversal and everything. And obviously, seemingly a very, very interesting story. From reading the description, to me, it just sounds awesome. So very cool stuff there. I am excited for this one. This game we don't have, I believe, a official release date for it yet, but it is coming out in 2025, so I'm sure we will get that soon. And finally, Mario Kart World Direct happened yesterday. I'm not going to lie, the game looks really fun. I love Mario Kart. I'm a big fan of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and obviously the previous Mario Karts and everything, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to me is a top game. I didn't think that they would be able to improve upon it because I thought it was pretty much a perfect Mario Kart. Mario Kart World looks like it actually is going to hit that improvement. They showed it off. There's a lot in this game. And to me, it basically looks like Mario Kart Forza. And I love Forza Horizon. It's one of the, I play racing games, but Forza Horizon is one that I really enjoy. I'm more of an arcade racer style of guy. I don't really get into the whole simulation side of things. Arcade racing and kart racing. And Mario Kart World looks like it is literally the best of both of those put into one. They've taken a lot from Forza Horizon. You can see with some of the gameplay that they did show off and some of the things that you can do, like just going through the world and the rewind feature and everything, and the styles of races. So lots of cool stuff there. But here's everything. Some of the big stuff, I guess you could say, you need to know about what they did show off here from this direct, solely focused on Mario Kart World. There are some new items in this game. They say there's going to be the coin shell, which fires ahead, leaving coins behind. The ice flower, which freezes enemies. The hammer, which flies in an arc and wedges into the ground for a while. And Comic, which transforms opponents. And the mega mushroom and feather items also return in this game. They also detailed how outfits will work in the game. So races will feature dash food, and by collecting and eating it, characters will transform into an outfit related to that food. It was pretty cool. You saw that when you take the food and you transform into it and you kind of get a boost. And I believe these were also available for the open world and everything as you were going through. There's also new tricks confirmed, including the charge jump, which can be used for leaping over obstacles, jumping onto grind rails, jumping over obstacles, and pulling off wall jumps. And then there is the rewind gameplay. If a trick or shortcut was missed, you can rewind. Now, again, pulled obviously right from games like Forza Horizon, but I mean, many games have had the rewind feature, but just kind of reminded me of that. And then the free roam option really reminds me of that, where you're going through the world and just kind of picking up where you want to play, similar to the Forza Horizon games. They say players can drive freely around the game's map, but can also hit P switches to start missions, as well as find hidden coins, hidden panels, and more. There's free roam, there's photo mode, there is battle mode, then there's obviously the racing mode and the Grand Prix and everything. They say here that you're going to be able to have online races of support up to 24 players, as well local wireless for up to 8 players that you can all play together. There's tilt controls as usual. That's why they're selling those Joy-Con 2 wheel accessories. And it will be the first brand new main console entry in the Mario Kart series for more than a decade. As of course, Mario Kart 8 was released on the Wii U in 2014 and then came out with deluxe version on the Nintendo Switch. Game looks phenomenal. I will say that. If you're on the fence about it, go take a look at the direct. Obviously, the controversy still around this game is the pricing. Does it look $80 worth? No, it doesn't look $80 because there are games that you can tell are bigger, that have a lot more into it. Obviously, on the graphics side of things, like a Forza Horizon, that are not $80. So Mario Kart World shouldn't be $80. But if you're a fan of kart racing, you're a fan of Mario Kart, it's going to be hard not to want to play this thing because I think it does look phenomenal. But I'll end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.